Well, thank you again. So you've heard me talk a couple of times already. Before I start, I'd like to introduce two other members of the Dell EMC HPC team so you have a chance to, through the rest of the meeting, get a chance to talk with them. So in the back of the room, we have Matt Koop, who's runs our product management team for HPC. So basically all of the HPC solutions and products and so on that I'll talk about very briefly come out of his team, along with our HPC engineering team. Way in the back hiding there is Ryan Broadwell. Ryan is VP of our Solutions and Alliances organization, which is now where our HPC team resides. And Ryan is really helping to drive our business and strategy for HPC going forward. So you got sort of at least some of the brain trust here. So please engage with the rest of the folks. So real quickly, trying to go through a few slides. It's been interesting listening to the conversations yesterday and today, and really seeing how much of the conversation is revolving around the fact that HPC is really changing. And wasn't that long ago that we always only talked about very traditional HPC, simulation and modeling and so on. How do you do that faster and all that? HBDA is coming in. We're talking a lot more about data and so on. How many times have we talked about machine learning, which oddly enough on my little graphic here happens to be in the biggest type. We're really seeing many new technologies, new applications coming in. It's making what, over time, HPC, way back when, Earl and I were joking about the first meeting of the forum, which the major argument at that first meeting was vectors or clusters. It was a very simple meeting by current standards in terms of the number of technologies we were talking about. Now the number of technologies, of applications, of use cases is simply exploding. And so that's creating a challenge for all of our customers. And so our approach to that, as part of a solutions organization, is to take the breadth of product that Dell Technologies overall creates, as well as products and technologies from our technology partners, our services partners, and so on, weave those together into solutions that simplify the process of configuring, delivering, supporting, managing solutions to our customers, but do it at that intersection of HPC, big data, and cloud. We do that inside of a solutions organization that HPC is a piece of that, happens to be the biggest piece in terms of business, but that also does big data solutions, so Hadoop solutions, for example, SAP solutions, also does cloud solutions, such as OpenStack solutions. We also do work with our VMware brethren to do virtualized solutions. So there's a whole set of approach to delivering solutions to our customers, and our focus is doing that very much for HPC. Sitting on top of all of that and enables all of that is really the organization, the people, the experience, really leveraging a group of folks who've been in this market for a long time, myself included. A lot of people in the room know Jay Wissant, who was the original director of TAC, who is now so my title is HPC strategist, his title is HPC technology strategist. So I tend to focus more on the business and marketing side. He focuses more on the technology side. Very strongly focused on our strategic partnerships, obviously Intel, NVIDIA, Mellanox, but also our strategic customer relationships, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Focus on technology innovations, on taking new technologies from within our own organization, within our technology partners, and really evaluate them to understand how they fit into the HPC solutions that we can then productize and bring out to our customers. The HPC Innovation Lab is our sandbox. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And of course, at the end of the day, the most critical thing is the people that stand in front of our customers on a day-to-day basis. And this is the set of solution architects, HPC-focused sales folks who are in each of our major regions, focus on working with our customers to enable you to consume our technologies. I won't go through this in detail. This is just a real quick view of that bottom again of the set of technologies that we focus on, the products and services that are, if you will, the toolkit for us building our HPC systems. One important thing, you notice this is labeled Dell Technologies, not Dell EMC, because on the far left of the chart is what is now Dell, is what used to be the client organization within legacy Dell, if you will. On the far right is VMware, which is another individual business within the Dell Technologies umbrella. And then the columns in the middle are all the parts of Dell EMC, which brings together the server business, brings together the storage business, so all that legacy EMC brings to the table. So things like Isilon, Scale.io, Elastic Cloud Services. So along with things that we were doing ourselves before with Lustre, our partnerships with folks like Seagate and DDN to deliver Lustre solutions, for example. Our own networking organization, so a strong focus on high-performance Ethernet, again with things that we're doing with Intel, with our Dell EMC branded OmniPath switches, as well as our relationship with Mellanox. In management, a bunch of choices there. Highlight the fact that we're also a founding and premier member of OpenHPC. We're also supporting and delivering HPC Orchestrator. I will make a slight note on Bright Cluster Manager. It was referred to earlier as proprietary. It's actually a mix, and almost anybody's cluster stack these days is a mix of components that come from various sources. If you look under the surface of what's in Bright, there's a lot of open source componentry within that. The core cluster manager clearly is their proprietary technology. We work closely with Cycle Computing, really around to create environments where we can seamlessly burst workloads out to places like Microsoft Azure. We also have a relationship with Microsoft Azure, where we can actually sell Azure cycles as part of a Dell EMC offering. A variety of services, including remote management, so folks want to be able to have systems on their own premises, but they don't want to have to deal with them from a management standpoint. We can have all that done remotely for you. Or you can have systems that buy from us and have them sit off-premise through a partnership with our systems, who basically delivers HPC as a service. And then doing a lot of work with VMware in terms of where does virtualization and containers fit into HPC. So Josh Simons, who's a member of the CTO office at VMware, has been a big advocate within that organization for deploying that technology into HPC environments. Has done a lot of work on benchmarking. They've done a lot of work to implement RDMA through the virtualized environment, so you can do InfiniBand in that environment and so on. So a lot of technology behind what we're doing. As I mentioned, the Innovation Lab is our sandbox. This is a physical location, a lab in Palmer, Texas, where we develop, design, integrate, evaluate our HPC systems. So we have a Dell EMC HPC system for research. We have an implementation of that there. One for life sciences that focuses on genomics. One for manufacturing that focuses on a variety of CAE workloads. Each of those have implementations that are sitting in the lab and are available for benchmarking and testing and so on. The lab also works as the focal point for R&D activities and evaluation of new technologies. So this is where we're always getting the next new thing early. So we are, for example, already evaluating Skylake systems in that lab. We already have benchmarking numbers on it that we can share under NDA and appropriate Intel NDA. We do a lot of benchmarking here, both for ourselves, for our partners, for our customers. We frequently have customers and ISVs coming in to test their applications. And again, prototyping and evaluating advanced technologies. The major focal point for these activities are two systems. The Zenith system is number 372 on the November Top 500 list. This is our, if you will, Intel Scalable System Framework testbed. It's based on both Xeon and Xeon Phi / KNL processors, all connected together with OmniPath, with a nice Lustre implementation. So basically all the pieces of SSF. Also, by the way, is where we're testing HPC Orchestrator and where we're doing the work on Orchestrator. Sitting right next to it is a slightly smaller system called Rattler that is our test bed for everything Mellanox and NVIDIA. And the two systems sitting side by side are configured somewhat the same. So the base nodes on both sides use the same SKU of Xeon. And the nodes have the same amount of memory and so on. So we have similar architectures sitting side by side that allows us to do, in effect, competitive benchmarks. So we have a lot of data comparing EDR InfiniBand versus OmniPath. We have data comparing KNL to P100 GPUs, and so on and so forth. So that allows us to give guidance to our customers on what the right configuration to use for the various workloads. Another part of what we do is, again, our strategic relationships with our customers. And Ron Hawkins mentioned our Centers of Innovation program yesterday, because San Diego is one of the members of this organization, if you will. And this is really a set of programs, collaboratory programs with our most strategic customers. We work very closely with TAC, Melissa mentioned yesterday. Ron mentioned some of the things that we're doing with San Diego Supercomputer Center and particularly the Life Sciences Initiative that he talked about. We're working with NCSA, particularly the private sector program. In EMEA, we have a very close relationship with the University of Cambridge. They focus very much in life sciences and cloud, and in fact, the intersection of those, where they're actually supporting the life sciences sector in the United Kingdom with something they've dubbed the BioCloud, which actually makes their life sciences research capabilities available to universities and life sciences companies within the United Kingdom broadly as a resource. Part of that cloud activity is also a strong focus on the use of OpenStack. And I'll note University of Cambridge, Stig Tefler from University of Cambridge, and Blair Bethwaite from Monash University, another partner of ours out of Australia, are the co-chair of the OpenStack Scientific Working Group. So any of you want to come to the next OpenStack Summit, which is going to be in Boston in May, the Scientific Compute Working Group will be meeting there. And we're collaborating with them. And again, the goal is to enable OpenStack into this environment, do the things that make it most useful. University of Pisa, we're doing a lot of work around machine learning. So they're a test bed. They've been doing some work, developing some example configurations using NVIDIA GPUs. They're working now doing the same thing on KNL based on our systems. Center for High Performance Computing in South Africa, one of my favorite customers, the poster children for democratizing HPC, using a petaflop HPC system to really create a whole economic development in South Africa and the rest of Africa, as well as supporting the square kilometer array work that is also taking place at Cambridge. I'll skip over because I'm running out of time. Of course, delivering systems at a variety of scale. This just mentions a few that we added in November, a new system at Lincoln Laboratories. That's an early access KNL system. Stampede KNL that came online. This was sort of the first step in the journey towards Stampede 2.0. The actual production K&L environment is under construction literally as we speak. The systems are all racked. Melissa was sharing that they're running OmniPath cables out in the hallways to straighten them out before they start cabling everything together. And I mentioned the CHPC system. So, the bottom line is, our goal is to, change the world by making HPC more accessible to our customers. We talk about democratizing HPC, making it available to organizations that might not have been able to consume it before, as well as advancing the technology. So to close, we talk about transforming the future, again, through the convergence of big data, cloud, and HPC, advancing the technology, moving sort of up the pyramid, right? Democratizing HPC, making it more available to the broader market, and optimizing HPC by adding new technologies into that broad portfolio of products that is the outcome of Dell Technologies. So with that, I thank you.